Hello everyone, and warm welcome to my presentation. My name is Sachin Shrestha, and today I'll be presenting week 8 of Cloud and BN, which focuses on cloud governance and management. And this is really important topic because as more and more organizations move to the cloud, knowing how to manage and control that environment becomes absolutely essential. We are going to cover four main areas today. First would be what cloud governance actually means. Second, the five key principles that guides it, and third, a practical three-part solution of making a good governance work in real organization, and finally, or at the last, how companies catalog their control and compliance data. So without further ado, let's jump into the presentation. So on the next slide, we'll be talking about the cloud governance, but in the broad term. So, what actually is a cloud governance? Let's start with the simplest possible definition. At its most basic level, a governance is about making sure that what you're managing is doing the right things in the right way. There are three fundamental questions that captures the idea perfectly. First, are we doing the right things? Meaning, are we making the correct decision and investing in the right areas? Second would be, are we doing them the right way? And our process and control actually effective? And third, how do you know what evidence or data do we have to prove it? If an organization can confidently answer all of these three questions, it has a solid governance. These three questions are the fundamental of everything else we will discuss in the further video or in the further slide. So moving towards the next slide, well, this is also a cloud governance, but we'll be talking it into a detail. Now let's go a little deeper into what cloud governance actually involves. It is not just an IT concept. It covers the whole business. There are four important dimensions to understand. The first is accountability. Governance clearly defines who is responsible for what and who has the higher authority to make decisions about the cloud services. The second is a policy which control or which keeps in balance of the organization. Organization create a business driven policy that controls how cloud resources are brought, used, and managed throughout their entire life cycle. The third is alignment. All cloud spendings and not just what IT wants and spendings and decisions must line up with what business it actually are. And fourth is enterprise level or the business level oversight. Senior leaders needs enough visibility to manage investment risks and opportunity across the entire organization, regardless of how and which department of or cloud provider is involved. And moving to the next slide, we'll be talking about the principles of the cloud governance. Cloud governance does not just happen on its own. It is guided by a set of five clear principles. Five clear principles. What is important to understand is that these principles are not just for the start of the cloud project. They apply throughout the entire cloud life cycle from the very beginning when you first adopt the cloud service all the way through to when you retire or replace it. Think of them as a rule of the road for anyone working with the cloud technology in an organization. The five principles are compliance with the standard, letting business objective drive strategy, having a collaborative contract, following changes, management and process, and continuously improve the governance over time. And we will be looking at this each detail over the next two slides also. So, without any delay, let's jump into the next slide, which talks about the principle 1 and 2 in details, which I have already mentioned it before or in the before slide. So let's look at the first two principle. Principle 1 is compliance with policies and standards. This means the cloud standards should be open and consistent and in the line with the broader industry uses. Why does this matter? Because in the cloud environment, you are dealing with many different suppliers, partners, and service provider. Having a common standard reduces the security, a private risk, makes system work together more smoothly, and ensure that everyone is playing by the same rules. This standard must be agreed upon early and must apply to all stakeholders. So, moving forward, principle 2 is the business objective must drive cloud strategy. This is a really critical point. Cloud technology is just a tool. It just serves the business, not the other way around. This means both business leaders and IT teams need to be involved together from very start when making cloud decisions. Neither side should be work in isolation. Means neither side should be work individually. They should be grouped and talk about it. And moving to the next slide, which talks about the principles 3, 4, and 5 in details. Now, for the principle 3, 4, and 5, principle 3 is all about the collaborative contacts in a cloud ecosystem, and you may have the different parties involved. Service provider, consumer, brokers, and developers are auditors. All of them needs a clear set of rules and agreement, like a service level agreements or SLAs, that defines their rules and responsibility. Without this clarity, disputes and confusion are almost guaranteed. Principle 4 is a adherence to change management process. The cloud is highly connected environment. Changing one part can have a ripple effect on other many or on many others. So any change, whether it is a new deployment or an update, must be handled in a structured or coordinated way. Principle 5 is continuous improvement. Market and business goals are always evolving, which means governance process must evolve too. You need to proactively monitor your governance, adapt it when needed, and have executive buys in to make those improvements sticks. So, moving to the next slide, we will be talking about the three-part solution which will make governance work. Understanding the principle is one thing, but how do you actually make a governance work in a practice? This answers the three-part solution that combines people, process, and technology. Part 1 is your internal organization government body. This is a group made of both IT and business representatives who are responsible for overseeing the cloud related issues, setting a best practice. Part 2 is an engagement with the cloud level governance bodies. These are an external groups that set standards and manage shared infrastructure at the broader level. And part 3 is a technology for automated monitoring. No organization can manually keep track of everything happening in the cloud. So you need an automation tool that continuously watch performance 24/7 of like security and compliance. And moving to the next slide, we'll be talking about establishing the governance body. Let's spend a moment on governance body itself because getting this right is a critical. The governance board should include a representative from across the organization. This mix of a people is important because it encourages the kind of a communication that connects IT decision with the real business outcome. One particularly important subgroup is the one of that manages the relationship with cloud provider directly, negotiating controls, monitoring performance, and acting the main point of the contact. Crucially, this is a governance body must be a permanent, ongoing structure. And moving to the next slide, we'll be talking about the cataloging, control, and compliance data. The final topic is cataloging, control, and compliance data. Many organizations already keep a service catalog, essentially a list of all IT service they provide. The key message here is that this catalog needs to be extended to cover our cloud service as well. Without it, it becomes very hard to maintain proper governance over what is running in the cloud. So there is a six key pieces of the information. First, contact information. Second, change authority. Third, a critical application. A fourth, record of the outage and incidents. Fifth would be a service relationship. And sixth, all agreement between IT and businesses of the customer. When this information is well organized and up to date, it becomes a more powerful tools for governance, compliance, and risk management. So, to conclude this presentation, let's bring everything together. We started by defining a cloud governance as a way to ensure accountability, and we then looked after the five key principles of a governance: compliance, business alignment, collaboration, collaborative contacts, change and management, and continuous improvement. And then we discuss how making a governance work in practice requires us three things working together. And finally, we explore how a well-maintained service catalog extend to our cover cloud services, gives organizations the visibility they need to stay in control and remain compliant. Cloud governance is not a one-time setup. It is an ongoing commitment and that grows with your organization. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions in the comment down section below. And I hope you have a great day. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification to be updated for my next video. And thank you for your time. Thank you.